Welcome to another edition of today's tutorial with the Magic Maker, yours truly, Rocky Robot, and shout out to our sponsor, Activitas Online on Instagram, AL Online on YouTube. So AL Online is a business, or AL Online is a company that is into media production and filmmaking, so do well to interact with your content. In today's video, we are going to be looking at how to design a very simple music cover art design. I'll be looking at one that Davido did, or Davido used rather, for one of his albums called A Better Time. So I'm just going to look at how to remake something like that with Photoshop. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I remain Rocky Robot Designs on Instagram for my visual design content, Rocky Robot Bond for my filmmaking activities, and Rocky Robot Write for my write-up basically. So I'll see you guys in class. Alright, so let's quickly check Google. Let's search for a better album or a better time. A better time, the video album. Yeah, we can see it right here. So I just want to check the album art design on images. So looking at what is on our screen, we can see that there is an image here, black and white basically. Then there's sort of like a little vignette around it that's shadows at the edge. Then we have a very fancy text, A Better Time, and that's it. If you look at the second style of the same design, we see that it's still an image, still black and white. Then you have a list of the songs that are going to be part of the album. You also have producers and things like that. So we're just going to look at how to do something very basic like this. So this is how we get started. From the basic, we move to the complex. So let's start our Photoshop 2022 version. You can see this with any version of Photoshop actually, except you are using Photoshop 1, where you have channels and RGB instead of layers. Alright, so Control N, you remember the preset we created in our last class for square? So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to be checking the artboard option on in today's class because I want to do two different designs. It's still very basic actually. So we'll be doing two at once. Now remember, your resolution should be 300. Once you are targeting design for web, your resolution should be 300. If you are doing design for print, depending, you can be using 150. Then our color mode is going to be RGB. For our background, I think I'll stick with black. Okay, let's just use white. We can always change it. Then don't color manage. You could use sRGB Pro Photo depending on what you want to achieve, but I just use do not color manage. Square pixels, of course. Then I create. Now I'm going to come here, right click. Just long press or left click rather, click on the artboard, then I get this option here. I click on the other one, that's the plus icon to add another artboard. Ctrl 0 to fit to screen. So now what I want to do is next, from the comparison we have here, what we just need is a picture. So what's the story we want to tell? I'll just check through the pictures I've been taking from my modeling page. So Rocky, okay, 25th birthday, stripes. This is a new picture. Okay, let's check the one I've edited already. 25 JPG. Now remember, I want to tell a story. So looking at each of the images that we have here, which one can we use to just extract something abstract from it? We could look at this image and call it "Cause I'm Happy." Yeah, "Cause I'm Happy." Let's see if we can get another one. Yeah, it's all about the flex. So we're just trying to create a concept. You don't know about it. That's what I see here. Let's see. We could just use anyone. This is looking like, let's do this. Let's get started. This is Ninja. Let's see if we can get something that will just remind us of something else. Let's see. With a grade. So yeah, let's see. Okay, I like this. I like this. I think I like this. Let's use this. So what do we call the name of the album? Let's say Trust Me or Take a Leap. Yeah, I think let's use that. Now what I'm doing is I'm just clicking and dragging. I'm left clicking and I'm dragging. Basically, I'm not letting go. So Alt Tab, come to. Alright, so because artboard 2 is activated, that's where the image gets dropped. I can just drag it to artboard 1. Okay, it's not. artboard 1. Why is it not going through? Alright, we can just delete it and add it to artboard 1. So, or click and drag. Alright, so you click on the check mark. The next thing we want to do is we want to scale to fit the whole size. So you click on your image, Ctrl C to bring out your transform tool. Then you click from the angle, you drag, you scale. You could Ctrl 0, Ctrl minus to zoom out. So because you want to scale properly. But I do like the concept of the hand that is showing. So what do we do? Should we just, what do we do? Should we design an album cover that is actually bigger? We could do that. So let's just create another artboard with the size of this. Let's say, what size do we have here? We have 4,000 by, but it's still too big. How about this? If we crop this, okay, I think this should give us something desirable. Let's see. For the second one. So this is actually how the creative process is. It's not like there's one thing that works. Even when an artist goes for a photo shoot, after you get tons of pictures, you now start sifting through to see the one that fits. So you see that this works good. So I guess when you're also taking pictures of your subject or of your artist, what you also want to consider is the size of the design you want to get as the end product. So you take that into cognizance. Ctrl T, okay? So do we move it up? I think we could just leave this like this. So let's focus on artboard 2. To zoom in, what I did was Alt-click. I held the Alt key. On the mark, it's Option. I think it's Option. So it zooms in. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to turn this to a black and white feel. So remember in our initial class or in our previous videos, we looked at adjustment layer. I think the whole video is up to an hour or around 1 hour. So we just click on black or white and it gives it a black and white feel. Now we can zoom out. There are various colors that makes or sums up your black and white image from what we have here. Now another way you could do this is you could just come here, use hue, drag the saturation to 0. So now, but then how do we check the comparison between the two? That's hue and saturation, reducing the saturation, then black and white. What we can use is layer compose. So you click on this, you turn it on. So I leave what I want to see, the first preview, I leave it on, then I click on plus, add it as 000, enter. Then the second one, I turn this off, turn on the second one, call it 001, enter. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to sample, let's see the difference. Okay, you see that there's a difference. 001 is darker, 000 is lighter. So which one is darker? The one that is darker is the normal black and white. Hue and saturation is lighter. So that's just how to do basic comparison or how to save a preview. So you can just toggle easily instead of doing this and pressing how many keys to actually do the same thing. So I'm just going to use black and white. I'm going to click on this. Then depending on what you want to achieve, the slider here is only going to target the red in the image. So you can make it darker. You see that this is looking like a vampire scene or something like Bloodlust, Teen Wolf kind of thing. So yeah, I think I'll just leave it at default. I also want us to see what the slider does. So it's still the same wood that you have here. So definitely from what you see here, there are yellows on the color of this wood. So you can also control it so it's not all brown. The next thing is your green. Do we have any green? I barely see any changes. So you could just Ctrl Z, leave that. Let's see blue. Okay. So you see that we have cyan, a lot of things. I'll just leave it at the default. So yeah, we're just testing to see. This is sort of brighter. Do we do this? I think. Let me leave it at that. Everything is all about your level of creativity. I'm going to make this darker so I focus on my subject. Now the next thing I want to do is I want there should be sort of like a vignette around the subject. And okay, we can extract the subject from the background, but let's just keep on working. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to just create a new layer and now I want to achieve a vignette around the subject. So there are various ways we can go about this. Let's use a brush. Press your B for brush, you press your close square brackets to increase the size. So I'm just going to hold on it. Now I press D to reset my color, I want to use black. So you can see this is very sharp. This is not what I want to do. Except you sort of want to do like a 60s kind of photo filter kind of style, but this is not what I want to do actually. So I'm just going to Ctrl Z. I'm going to right click, reduce the hardness to sort of soften the edges a bit, yeah, but this is not still what I want. Let me make it 0, but I'm going to make the brush bigger. Then I'm going to zoom out, Ctrl minus. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to brush around the edges, brush around the edges, brush around the edges, Ctrl Z, brush around the edges, Ctrl Z. So until I feel I get something cool. So yeah, you see that I'm just clicking. Because of the hardness is 0, that's why you can get those faint effects. So it sort of softens the edges. It softens the edges. So I think this is, I think I like it like this. Okay. Let me make this a bit darker. A bit darker. So Ctrl 0, H. Okay, so the edges, okay. I think this is good. So coming back here, H, click and drag. I think if we're going to turn this image to black and white, or since we're going to turn it to black and white, I don't think we need to be bothered about the ratio of the image because the blue background was turned to white. So let's still leave it like this, like it fits to screen. Now, let's just copy. I'm going to Alt click and drag down. That's how I make a copy. Another thing I can do is I could right click here, right click on this part of the screen, click on duplicate layer. That's what you want to click on. Okay, drag it down, and we sort of have this. The only thing I've done so far is to save my file as a PSD file, which is Ctrl S. So once you do Ctrl S, it will bring up a dialog for you and you just save. So what I'm doing here is Ctrl Shift S because I've saved the file already. Now the next thing I want to do is to achieve the same feel for this one right here. And the only thing I've done, let me just redo it, is to just make a duplicate of the black and white adjustment layer that were added. So I can just Alt click and drag, then I release, remove my hand from the Alt key. Now the next thing I can do here is, I'm having some background here which is white, right? So what can I do? I can use my eyedropper tool to sample the color on this region. So I just press I for my eyedropper tool. This is it right here by the left corner of your screen. So I sample the color, it gives me the color, the shade. So you see that this is E 6 times, that's the hexadecimal code. And if you go to pure white, it is F 6 times. So you see that the colors are different. The next thing I want to do is I want to create a new layer, or I can just use solid color. Click on solid color, okay. Then I move the solid color layer beneath my image layer. Okay, no, yeah. This way. So, call this out. Alright, so I just bring it beneath it, and let's see. Trying to sample to get sort of like the same feel. But then from what we're seeing, we'll be having sort of like an issue because of the sudden change in background here. So we may be needing to use another image, because if we resize this, this is what we'll be getting. So we can still work with this. You can still work with this. Or you may now need to check your gallery. You may need to check here to pick maybe another one that will work well. So we could try bringing this in. So I bring it to artboard 1, shift this, then Ctrl T to activate my transform tool, Alt click and drag. Then scroll down. So we see that here we still have most of the details. So the next thing I can do is the black and white layer that we added before, that's the adjustment layer, I move it upward, then we get the same feel. Now the next thing is this vignette that we did here, using our brush. So the vignette that we did here, let's see the effect. What we can do is we just make a copy and take it to our artboard one. So I'm just going to Alt click and drag, not like that, Alt click and drag. So once you do that, you get the exact same feel there in both places. So the next thing we want to do in comparison to that Davido Better album, where is it? Better album by Davido. So this is the first one. We just have a better time, then we have the name of the artist there. A better time, then the name of the artist there. So what we can do, like we've done before, is to check fonts.google.com. Then what we can type is, from here, what kind of story do we want to tell? In time will tell. Should we use that? Looking, yeah, let's just say in time will tell. So in time will tell. So that's the name of our album. Now what we can check for is handwriting fonts. Handwriting fonts, remove the monospace. So we could use this Edu Stars Beginner. We could scroll down to see quite a number of variations. So this is how you check for, these are sample fonts if you don't have them installed already. So we just want something, we could use any one of these. Let's use this, Mr. Daffo. Download for family. Then I'm just going to cut it, Control X, move it to my Shift D folder, paste it here, extract. Install. So that's Mr. Daffo. So the next thing I'm just going to do is at this region, I'm just going to type in time will tell. Next thing I'll do is come to my character, change the font to just search for Mr. Yeah, you click on it so it gives us that feel. We want to use something colorful. Okay, make it bold. So let's make it bigger. Okay, so we could have this at this corner of the screen. Now to make it more visible, we could give it a drop shadow. So you just add a drop shadow, look at that. Drop shadow, okay. So it is more visible that way. Now what I want to do is write the name of the artist. Write the name of the artist. So don't forget undo and redo, Ctrl Z and Ctrl Shift Z. I'm just going to put my name here. So just say Rocky Robot. Rocky Robot. Let us leave it as Rocky Robot. Don't let us add Rocky Robot the Magic Maker. So I'm just going to put this here. Then I can make this font bigger, Ctrl T. Make it bigger. Then we would want to change the color of this to something more subtle or something less obvious. We don't want to use, okay, I think I like this color. So let's see. Should we use this shade or this shade? Oh no. Yeah, let's just use this shade, Rocky Robot. So that's a very easy way. Okay, let me try it without. Yeah, I think I like it better this way. Let's see again. You could just take your time to just pick what suits you. So we've been able to do for the first one, that was in time method. Let's check the Davido sample again. Davido sample. So that's just the only thing there. Now we'll just replicate that same thing for this, just writing the name of songs like that. So what we could just do is, this, come to our artboard one. Then I'm going to use a text box instead of just using your text by itself. So instead, you just press T as the shortcut. Instead of clicking on your screen and just leaving it like that, this is just what you get. So you just click and drag. So you can have something like this. You click and drag. So you see that we have a list. So if there's a list of songs that I just want to put, now what I can do here is to make this part of the screen a bit dimmer. I could use gradient, but I'll just use a very easy fix, which is I'll use M, my marquee tool, create a new layer. Then D, so just exchange the color here to set it back to the default. Then I'm just going to use G, click on it, so I have that part painted black. I'm going to take it behind Yeah, then I'll reduce the opacity. Okay. So this is more readable, but then the font itself is not readable. We know we used it as our front page design because it's fancy. So you would want something readable. You could go to font.google.com to just pick something, but want something fancy yet cool. Okay, I think we should use this. So what we have is, 1, 2, 3, quite tiny. Make it 10. That's too small. Make it 12. Make it 14. Okay, I feel this is fair. So it could just be like 1. Let's do this. 2. Is that 2? Is that 2? It looks so funny. Make magic. 3. Hasta la vista. 4. Apex predator. 5. I need favor. 6. My need is nerd. 6. Stabilis. 7. You know, easy. It is not easy. 8. Strive in Lagos. 9. 25. Age 25. 10. Just do it. I know I'm stealing that from Nike. Just do it better. So I think this is cool. Is there another thing? We have 17 songs. I think 9 is fair. So the next thing we can just do is just minimize this, you know. You don't want to copy word for word or verbatim. What you want to do is just get something close. So I just copy the text here, Alt, click and drag. So I have it here a better time. And I could just put this down here too. Make it less obvious. Reduce the font size to 11. 11 is too small. 14. 16. 16 should be good. This should be good. So let's change the color to sample this. But I don't like what I see. Why do I not like what I see? Remove this drop shadow. Let's just use this. Nah, not a fan of the drop shadow. Make it bold. Drop shadow, drop shadow. Reduce the spread. Distance, reduce the distance. Okay, I think this is good. So in time it all. What else then? You could add all of the procedures that they worked with and all of that. Just take your time to arrange it. And I feel this is just very basic. So to sort of make magic or to be a real magic maker in the creative space, you don't really need to, you know, stress yourself and copy a lot. You could just be creative, just get ideas, get concepts from people's work that they've done already, and you can just modify it and just do it better. Just do it better. Don't just do it like Nike. You do it better. So I think I like this up here for some reasons. For this text, I can just leave it here. In time it all. Then make a copy. How about we try white? How would white look like? Surprise me. Yeah. White will surprise me. I do like the color. Just leave it like that. The magic maker. That's the idea. Let's just call this the magic maker. Let's use Y. Should we use Y? Should we tint it a little bit? Let's use white. The magic maker. I know this is not the best of colors, but should we try something else? What else could work? What else could work? Okay, that will work. So the magic maker, then any other text you want to write, you could just put it down here, you know. Just I could do this, you know, just to sort of fill the whole place with yaggedy yag. Just see, I'm just gonna clear this, backspace, delete, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, and I think yes, like this. So make it smaller. Whereas there was shifts, just to make it look like there are more details, like the album we are trying to imitate. Ctrl T, bring it down here like some more important information. And our design is ready. So the only thing we have to do from here is export both as PNG. And what you'd want to do is, I like exporting as PNG because I get more quality from the image instead of exporting as JPEG. The file size reduced. So what I'll just do is File, Export, quick export as PNG. Then I'll take it to the folder where I'm recording session 4 shoots D, and I'll call it, select folder. And let's go to see what we have. So basically, this is how to just design a music cover art. And if you feel like you don't really like the line that is here, you can always use non-destructive editing to hide that. So you add a vector max B, then I paint black over it, just to sort of reduce the edge. So I think this is more subtle, this is better. So you could just file, export again, quick export as PNG. Nah. So file, export, quick export as PNG, select folder, and let's go see what we have. Okay, just overwrote it. All right, so I believe this is better. So this is how you can use just basic knowledge in graphics design to just do things that are cool. And that will be all for today. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to adding to the family. Thank you. Shout out to Fash for helping me record, and it's pretty late here in Lagos, Nigeria. I remain your host, Oluwatobiloba, the English mathematician, magic maker. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to AL Online, engage your content, share, like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms, and you can find me on LinkedIn as well. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, and it's been nice. Welcome to another edition of today's tutorial with the Magic Maker. I remain your host, Oluwatobiloba, and shout out to our sponsor, Active Leaders Online on IG, on Instagram. Again, still